Hello fellow followers. Okay, you know how normally in my videos we have acting bits where me and my girls act out different bits of the story I'm talking about? Well, yeah, we're not going to be having that on this one. In fact, let's just go ahead and put an age warning on it. It's time for the Bible Uncensored. You have been warned. So yeah, in my last video that was about 1 Samuel, I pointed out this about the story of David and Goliath. A little aside to that story. In the traditional telling, a stone hits Goliath on the temple. He falls over and then David chops his head off with a sword. But the Hebrew isn't actually clear and it's quite possible that he actually got hit a little bit further down. And then when he was hit, he keeled over. And it was then that David chopped his head off. Tell that story in Sunday school. One of my friends said that was silly, and if that's what the passage said, then the translators would have translated it like that. Which, as I pointed out to him, is complete and utter rubbish. A lot of Christians are far more prudish about what's in the Bible than the Bible itself is. And there's a whole bunch of times where the English translation cleans up the language or takes away the implications for us. I mean, I've pointed out others before, like this one. For example, in the final chapter, Moses dies, and yet they say this amazing thing about him. They say Moses was 120 years old, yet his eyes were not weak, nor his strength gone. The word strength there is the word leo. It means literally moisture or freshness. Some translate it as strength, some translate it as vigor, some translate it as not wrinkled. It's actually a euphemism. Guess what for? That's right. The greatest thing they could say about this great hero of faith, the one that led them out of slavery, the one who met God himself on Mount Sinai, the greatest thing they can say about this one, he can still get it up. So to prove it, I thought I'd point out a few, not all, just one or two. Here it is, the Bible Uncensored. Text number 1. Genesis 24, 2-3. Abraham said to his servant, the oldest of his house, who was in charge of all that he had, put your hand under my thigh, and I will make you swear by the Lord. So yeah, the thigh, almost certainly a euphemism for male genitalia. You can find the same thing with Israel and Joseph in Genesis 47:29. And possibly even between God and Jacob in Genesis 32. Actually, the practice of swearing an oath while touching either your own or someone else's testicles was a very common practice in the ancient Near East. It was part of their culture. Arguably, it's even one possible source of the word testify. Test-e-fy. So Christians, you feeling uncomfortable yet? Okay, here's a view to calm you down.
Love a smile, going back and forth for a while.
Feeling better? Good, here's the next one. This time we're with Elijah on the top of Mount Carmel. He challenges the priests of Baal to build an altar and then call down fire from heaven, which they try calling and nothing happens, so Elijah starts taking the mick, and this is what he says. 1 Kings 18:27. At noon Elijah mocked them, saying, cry aloud, surely he is a god. Either he is meditating, or he has wandered away, or he is on a journey, or perhaps he is asleep and must be awakened. Actually, no, that phrase, has wandered away, means, well, I'm not sure I can say what it means. It means he's relieving himself. He's gone to the toilet. He's taking a number 2. Let's move on to Paul talking about how much he's gained by becoming a follower of Jesus. Philippians 3:7-8. Yet whatever gains I had, these I have come to regard as loss because of Christ. More than that, I regard everything as loss because of the surpassing value of knowing Christ Jesus my Lord. For his sake I have suffered the loss of all things, and I regard them as rubbish, in order that I may gain Christ. Yeah, that word rubbish, we actually do have an English word that carries the exact same meaning and the same offensive nature as the word Paul used. If I used it, I really would have to put an age restriction on the video, not to mention the fact I could get in trouble. Paul considered it all
Love a smile, going back and forth for a while.
I'm barely scratching the surface in this video, but that'll do for now. God bless, fellow followers. If you know other examples, then feel free to comment on them down below. Maybe you know about the fact that Samson was into a bit of S&M, or maybe you know about the fact that Joseph quite possibly was a cross-dresser. I'm not talking about Joseph the stepfather of Jesus, I'm talking about Joseph with the dream coach. Or maybe you know ones I don't know about, in which case please share them.